Good morning. So I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and recently the counties or whoever makes the decisions brought the mask mandate back, and this issue seems to be super divisive. There's some people are super in favor of it and get outraged when people aren't strict adherents to the rules. Others go the other way, and they feel violated, and they're outraged that this is being forced on them. And regardless of what one thinks, it's just that the divisiveness is what I struggle with. And thinking about it, I reminded of something that my mentor said to me probably 100 times, maybe 200. And it took that long for it to really sink in, and for me to be able to digest it and take it on, and then practice it in real time, like when a situation comes up. And what he would say is, it's not about the stuff. And and I had to say it a bunch of different ways, and so I'm going to try to illustrate my understanding of what that means, and hopefully it's helpful. And so saying what something isn't about might not be super helpful, and so let's go into what it is about. And for me, it's how I feel inside, or what's important to me that is what it's about, and that's what I'm really fighting for or against, or trying to persuade or hold on to is how I feel about it inside, and it's my values. And so I'm going to try to illustrate that from the side of view of people who want the mass and are in favor of the mass. And so my way of understanding that is to think of it in terms of, if somebody were proposing to spray toxic chemicals on my food, or poison my son or my family, or dump a bunch of gnarly stuff in the ocean or in the pool, or what, any in the air, whatever, so I think about it in that way, that somebody's trying to kill me literally, or cause me harm by being either careless or reckless, and so the feeling there is fear, afraid I'm going to get hurt, afraid someone I care about is going to get hurt, they're going to get sick, they might die. That's the fear. And so if I see someone wearing full mask, face thing, the gloves, the whole nine, avoiding contact with people, being real vigilant about distance and this kind of thing, they're scared. And if I thought someone was trying to harm me or put some gnarly stuff on me, I'd be scared too. So that's totally understandable, and I get that. And if I saw someone who wasn't concerned about my safety, or I felt that way, I'd be angry. I'd be pissed. I'd be like, you're trying to kill me, or you're trying to hurt me. The rage, I got that one big time. I know how to feel that. So yeah, I'd be pissed. So that so get away. What are you doing? It's real easy to drop into that feeling of you're doing this to me, you piece of, angry, how and careless. You're reckless. You're being, you don't care about me, not feeling cared for. That one's easy to feel. It's super hurtful too. Sad. Nobody cares about me. I don't matter. Go to there. Yeah, I got that one. Know that one. And anxious, the anxiety of not being able to feel safe. There's no one safe. Nowhere is safe. Even in my own home, I'm not safe. I have to do this, do that. And the confusion around the rules, what works, what doesn't. There seems to be all these different ideas and narratives, and who to trust, and who knows. And then the numbers say one thing one day, and then a couple months later it's something else. And so it's the constant sense of unease that this is not a safe time. And if it goes to the point of neurotic, like washing my hands, 50, 100 times a day, and going through 20 masks and 80 pairs of gloves, and that kind of, eventually feeling like an idiot, feeling foolish, oh God, look at me, I'm doing all this stuff, or walking by the street and seeing used masks on the ground everywhere, and it kind of hits home that oh man, what is this, is this sustainable? Am I, what am I doing to the planet here? I thought, and conflicted around is all this creating extra waste and polluting and causing more harm than the cure, kind of, like the cure is worse than the disease kind of a thing, I think I would feel all of that. So what about the other side, the ones that are on the camp or the belief of unmasking, or they don't want someone telling them how to live, or they see it as a violation of their free choice to make their own decisions about how to be healthy or not healthy, or what health is, or like self-care, or it's my body, my choice, that kind of thinking, that that position. So first, the physical obvious, like put it on. It's this foreign thing on my face. I can't see down. I often trip on stuff. I go to grab something if I'm in a store trying to grab something, or even money out of a wallet or something. It's obstructing my vision, and I'm like fumbling around, and it's hot. Breathing with the mask on is super uncomfortable, especially if it's hot out. I learned that working with like toxic epoxy and stuff, and that's the reason I don't buy that stuff anymore. I don't like the mask. I don't like having that thing on my face, the discomfort, the hot breathing, the feeling like I can't take a deep breath. I got big into breath work a few years ago, and not only deep breaths, but all kinds of different kinds of breathing. And for me, the mask interferes with all that. And the longer I wear it, the more I feel it. And then I don't believe in it, so like having to wear it, I feel like a moron, an idiot. I feel ridiculous, and the whole time I'm in my head going like, why? This makes no sense. And I see everybody else wearing them, and I'm like that whole thing in my head is going. And yeah, I know all the stuff, like I can meditate and do all this to quiet the noise, and yet, but logically I can't get to the place where I can make sense of why I'm being forced to do it. So, that's so that goes to anger, the outrage, like, how dare you tell me that I need to do whatever it is you want me to do, beat it, piss off. Like, it's none of your business what I do or don't do. Really easy to go to that one. Don't like being told what to do, just flat out, like, or the bigger theme of when someone has power over me or everyone to tell them what to do, that there's no end to it. It's just one thing after another, and more rules and more restrictions, and to the point that life becomes absurd and it's not even fun anymore. It's just so many rules, you can't even do anything without getting a permit or something. That kind of just the fear that it's fear. And a lot of it is like, what if I am being an irresponsible, selfish jerk by not wearing whatever, or not doing what I'm told? What if I am making people sick or killing people? That wouldn't sit well. That's, with choice comes responsibility, and that's one that'd be hard to sit with. And so it's like the wrestling of like, what is true, and then trying to find out, well, what is the science, or what does this work or not? And then again, to the confusion around like, a bunch of people are saying this, a bunch of other people are saying that, what's right and what's wrong? And then try to go to the internets and see a video's up one day and then it gets removed saying it was mis or disinformation, and that makes it even more confusing. And if it comes from someone who's an established doctor with the establishment and went to all the right schools and got the degrees, and then that person's being censored, like that makes it even more confusing. Or then it, maybe go to more curiosity of, or distrust. If these, if the truth, or if someone's being hushed up or silenced or forced into not being able to talk, like what's really going on? Is there some deeper nefarious plan? And then that circles back around to fear. We're like, man, if there's some effort, some kind of like sabotage, or there's like, money interest involved, and it's not really about health, it's about profit or something like that, then it feels even scarier, because it's like, wow, people really care more about making a few bucks than me. They're willing to kill me or make people sick or do stuff like that just to make a buck. Like, oh man, that's a scary world to live in. Like, that doesn't sound safe or fun, or and then what about my kids? What world am I leaving to them? And then get into like, well, do I say something if I don't believe in it? Do I just go along to get along, and then feel the internal battle of not believing, but then like not wanting to rock the boat, or afraid I'll be shamed and blamed, and you know, the pitchforks will come out and I'll get run out on a rail, or, you know, burned at the stake, or tarred and feathered, or, you know, all this stuff, you know. So it's complicated. It sucks. And so what I'm hoping that, you know, on both sides, the feelings, even though the point of view is radically different, the feeling underneath, the fear, the confusion, the anxiety, the outrage, the concern, just the distrust, the not knowing, like, we all share those feelings. And if we can come together and share that, then we have that's common ground. We can build from there, because we all have that. We all feel those feelings. We all have those thoughts in us, and so that's universal. And from there, there's a place to come together, and then we can talk about, you know, the stuff we don't agree on. But if we, you know, we can't get to the feelings, to the common ground, if we start with the stuff that we're, you know, hugely conflictual about. You know, we got to go to the stuff we do agree about, that we have in common, and then from there, you know, we can soften and be more willing to listen. Like, oh, hey, this person, they're going through the same thing I am. You know, even though they have radically different views, they still feel the same stuff I do. They're still struggling and suffering with the same thing I am. You know, so from there, that's an easy bridge to build and cross and meet each other. You know. So thanks for watching.